wind howled through the desolate streets of San Antonio as I stood, rifle in hand, alongside my fellow defenders within the battered walls of the Alamo. The night was pitch black, the moon obscured by a thick blanket of ominous clouds. We were outnumbered, surrounded by an ungodly silence that seemed to echo with impending doom. The air was thick with the stench of decay and blood. The dead littered the ground outside the walls, their vacant eyes staring into eternity. The zombie horde that had descended upon us seemed endless, their grotesque forms illuminated sporadically by the flickering torches that lined our defenses. Their rotting flesh glistened with a sickly sheen, and their limbs moved with an unnatural jerking motion. Our ammunition was running low, and fatigue had taken its toll on our already weary bodies. But we fought on, fueled by desperation and the unyielding spirit of defiance that had brought us to this forsaken place. The clang of steel against rotting flesh reverberated through the air as we held the line, hacking and shooting at the relentless undead. The battle ragged on for hours, the nightmarish chorus of moans and screams, mixing with the crackling of gunfire and the sickening thuds of our weapons finding their marks. I could feel the sweat-soaked grip of my rifle slipping in my hands, my muscles aching with each swing of my blade. But no matter how many of those abominations we struck down, they just kept coming, their numbers seemingly replenishing from the very depths of hell itself. As the hours stretched on, exhaustion gnawed at my every fiber, and a sinking realization settled over me like a leaden weight. We were fighting a losing battle. The walls were breached, the moans of the undead growing louder as they poured through the breaches like a torrent of nightmares. The few of us who remained fought with a desperation born of knowing that death was upon us. And then, in the midst of the chaos, it happened. A cold, clammy hand closed around my ankle, and I stumbled, my heart racing in terror. I looked down to see a decomposing face leering up at me, its milky eyes fixated on my flesh. With a guttural cry, I tried to shake it off, but its grip was like a vice. I could feel its teeth sinking into my leg, the pain like nothing I had ever experienced. I screamed, my voice mingling with the cacophony of battle around me. I could see my comrades fighting on, oblivious to my plight as I was dragged to the ground, the zombie's foul breath mingling with the scent of death. I tried to fight back, striking at it with all the strength I could muster, but it was no use. Its rotten teeth tore through my flesh, and I could taste the metallic tang of my own blood as it mingled with the dirt beneath me. The pain was blinding, and as the world around me began to blur, I knew that I was lost. The last thing I saw before the darkness claimed me was the twisted, triumphant grin on the zombie's face. It was a grin that seemed to mock the very concept of life, a grotesque parody of the humanity it had once possessed. And as my vision faded, the sounds of battle and the moans of the undead became distant echoes, lost to me forever. In the end, the Alamo fell, its defenders succumbing to the relentless onslaught of the undead. Our sacrifices were in vain, our struggle against the forces of darkness, a tragic tale of courage and futility. And as the years passed, the memory of that night became a haunting legend, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires to remind us of the horrors that could befall us when the line between life and death is shattered.